Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and others. My name is Dan, the voice behind that Kaito Dan, and welcome to my reaction to the RWBY Volume 8 mid-season trailer. If you want to check this out for yourself, by the way, I'll leave links to it in the description down below. But yeah, we are now, as of this posting, 2 weeks away from the start of the second half of Volume 8. The first episode, of course, being back 100 episodes in the making for this series. And oh boy, I'm both excited and nervous for this trailer. In fact, I'm pretty much excited and nervous for the rest of this volume because things have been wild. It might be a bit of a harsh reminder of everything that's gone before, considering like we've been on a break now for a good couple of weeks. But yeah, don't forget, when we ended off, things weren't looking good for Atlas or Mantle or anyone. Salem's forces has now invaded both Atlas and Mantle. The whales spewing out tons of Grim. Penny's crash landed at the Schnee Manor. There's a bomb that's going to be planted inside Monster, but we need to get the Oscar out of there first. There's a lot of things to be dreading, on top of just also being excited for more RWBY. So I imagine that's what this trailer is going to have, just like reminding us of what we've been through and then going into some of the new stuff. Hopefully they won't spoil too much. That's always the tricky bit with these kind of mid-season trailers. You want to get a good balance of what's come before and what's going to come, but not too much. And also, by the way, I'll give my first reactions to this, and then afterwards I'm going to watch it a few more times by myself to really like dive deep into everything, and then well, I'll be doing that, and then after my first reaction you'll see my breakdown of this trailer in a more deep dive sense. So stay tuned after the reaction. I'll go straight into the breakdown then. But yeah, I think that's everything that needs to be said. So here we go, mid-season trailer time. Count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. There's old Monstra.
Your whole life unwaveringly for what you want.
Getting a big focus on Cinder at the start. Like we're going into like some of the stuff from the like mostly on Cinder at the start of this. This is interesting.
I have always
oh, here we go. Uh-oh.
Those who'd see it destroyed.
There's the bomb. Marrow, Ironwood. I'm very worried about what you're gonna do. Yeah, we saw that. Whoa! What the hell was that? What the hell was that, Grim? That wasn't the Hound. That was new. Uh-oh, stuff going on in the jail cell. Jesus Christ. Bloody hell, this is intense as all hell.
You're too late.
There's the Hound and the Manor. Whoa, God, no, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. Oh, God, that flew by quick, but that was intense. And of course, coming back on the 6th of February. Holy cow. That flew by, but that was heavy. That was a really good trailer. And again, I'm glad that it didn't feel like they were spoiling too much. It had a lot of stuff from the past, especially at the start with Cinder, which already, just like at the top of my head, makes me think that this is going to continue on from the first half and keep a very strong focus on Cinder and her actions, what she's going through. Obviously, last time out, Emerald learned everything from Ozpin about Salem's true intentions, or supposed true intentions, and I do think that she will try and tell Cinder what she's learned, so that could possibly lead into Cinder coming to blows, or at least confronting Salem about everything. And that's going to be interesting there, and I like the fact that it did start off by having a prominent focus on Cinder to calm any fears that maybe going into this second half she won't be a prominent figure. But nope, it looks like she's still going to be a big focus. And then just like after that, it was just like beat after beat after beat. Like a few more like repeated shots like we saw when Oscar got jumped by the Hound. Some stuff with Like we saw the flower petals bit with Winter. And there's like a lot of past dialogue as well, like when Oscar was warning about like if you just aid Salem, you're going to be aiding the destruction for all of us. And there was also May's bit about choosing a side. So they kept a big focus dialogue-wise on past stuff while still giving crumbs to everything that's going to come up. The thing that immediately jumps out in terms of the new stuff was that Grim, that strange-looking Grim that spewed out green bile, much like the Sentinels. Let me just have a quick look back of it here. Like, yeah, it looks freaky as all hell. It looks kind of like, it looks a bit like the Nuka-Larvae, or at least the human form of it. Especially with like those spindly arms. But it's got like a green vein going up from its chest, almost like in the heart area, and that's where that green bile is coming out. And it looks freaky as all hell when it's shooting it out. And that there's the tree in the background shot of it looks like the trees from the Schnee Manor. So holy hell, the Schnee Manor's getting invaded probably by the Hound and this Grim. What the hell? The Hound enough was like one thing to worry about, but now we got this thing as well. And then the other like big talking point at the moment is something that was teased initially yesterday on the RWBY Twitter. Penny wakes up and she's got the red eyes, so her body is going to be hack controlled at this point, and that's going to be concerning whatever happens there. But really good trailer. I like the balance of new and old, not revealing too much, but like some stuff that's really going to grab you, like that new Grim, like Penny being hacked and so on. But yeah, first time going through, I really enjoyed this. But I'm going to cut now, going to have a few more watches of this, and for you, we're going to go straight into the breakdown with 2D Dan. Alright, enjoy. Thanks 3D Dan. Well, even for a trailer with a decent amount of familiar shots and dialogue, there's still a fair share of tasty elements worth speculating even with some of this old content. So let's get into the thick of it, shall we? Starting with the opening segment, which focused a lot on Cinder. Backed by Salem's concerning promise to support Cinder rather than hold her back, there's several shots of Cinder or details tied to her from the volume's first half, ranging from her fight with Penny to a shot of her time as the Madame's slave, Cinder taking Salem's hand, and so on. Volume 8 has already been a big volume for Cinder, as we got to explore more about her past and see her loyalty to Salem be tested due to her own aspirations. And the trailer opening up with such a notable focus on Cinder suggests to me that the second half will keep this trend up, which I'm happy to see. One of these snapshots, by the way, is when Emerald spies on Salem in the midst of her concerns, before she heard about Salem's supposed true intentions for the relics from Ozpin. This makes me think then that Emerald will continue to play a key role in Cinder's arc, likely trying to make her realize about Salem's promises and how they're kind of hollow, though whether or not Cinder will listen to Emerald is up in the air at this point. Either way, I like that the trailer started out trying to bridge the gap between the volume's halves, with this refresher on one of the volume's more important characters so far. Afterwards, it's Ironwood who takes up the narrator role as he reaffirms his dedication to protecting the kingdom from those that would destroy it, whatever the cost. And we see the general getting frustrated once again by something while in his office. Not sure why exactly, but it could also tie in with a later shot of him reaching out to select something on a screen before being distracted by something to his side. If I were to wager a guess on what this sequence is about, it's likely related to the bomb that's intended for Monstra, which we see get let out by Winter and the Aesops. It's possible that Ironwood gets cut off from detonating the bomb by some kind of alert or call. And as I've stated before, I really do fear that James might set off the bomb even with some of the heroes or his own forces still in the blast zone. So the shot of him getting upset while hearing his promise to protect Atlas whatever the cost really does ramp up those fears. On the topic of the Aesops, we then see Marrow get a comforting hand on the shoulder by Winter. She's the only one of the group wearing full gloves, so we know it's her for sure. And after Ren's semblance breakdown last time out, pointing out how the two elites have major reservations about continuing to follow their orders over their hearts, it makes sense to see one of them try to ease the concerns of the other, especially knowing full well that they're dealt with undertaking a possible suicide mission, getting the bomb into the Grim. And while we also see them try and fight off the Grim, I still reckon there's every chance that Marrow could start to be honest with his feelings and either lead to him rejecting his orders or addressing the major emotional issues affecting the Aesops as a whole. And Marrow's appearance in this trailer does make me feel more confident that the Dog Boy will play a key role in the struggles of the elites. Returning to Cinder, there's an interesting scene of her pulling aside some rocks while inside Monstra, and the fires around the rubble makes me think that something explosive has gone on inside the whale, but not the bomb. In fact, I think this is as a result of Cinder fighting someone. It could be Jean, Yang or Ren while they're looking for Oscar, but while I'm willing to take a guess, I think it's actually Salem. What if Emerald did pass on what she learned, and Cinder did confront Salem about it, the fallout from this leading to the two coming to blows? We don't see any shot of Cinder at the Schnee Manor, despite being told to seek out Penny, so this could be what Cinder is up to instead. And considering the big focus on Cinder this volume, it would make sense for it to have been setting up Cinder going rogue, building up to this long expected fight between the Fall Maiden and the Grim Queen. It would also be a reasonable excuse to explain then why Salem won't come across any of the heroes as they sneak their way into the whale, or for the likes of Emerald or Hazel obtaining the lamp for their own queries if Salem's too busy fighting Cinder. On the note of the baddies, we don't see Neo or Tyrion, which is always a reason to be panicking, since those two are stealthy deviants that are the last people you would want to discover you don't know where they are. Meanwhile, Hazel is seen looking stern-faced, perhaps on his way to seek out the lamp, to see if the Oscar pair's warnings are true. And later on, we see Watts and Crow's prison cell get blasted away by an explosion. Salem did ask Cinder to recover Watts, so this is likely before whenever that prior scene with Cinder takes place. But at least we can also assume now how Crow, Robin, and maybe Jacques get free as well. Whether or not they will have any fight with Cinder during this, well, we'll have to wait and see. One final note on the bad guy side is something that I'm sure is making the Oscar Protection Squad go into nuclear mode, and that is this shot of Salem looking mighty pissed as she grasps Oscar by the head. As to why she did this, well, if you pause it just before she snaps, you can see Salem looking rather somber, in fact almost saddened. Maybe it's Ospen she's speaking to at this moment, and her ex brought up some stuff from their past in an effort to maybe make her come to her senses, or explain why he tried to leave her with their kids all those years ago. It seems the most likely reason to explain this rare expression on Salem's face before whatever is said causes her to lash out again. Very interesting indeed. Now the next prominent bit of narration comes from May's comments about this not being a situation where everyone wins and the heroes must choose their sides. It definitely feels like this definitely isn't a situation where at least the heroes are gonna be coming out roses, and it also feels like choice is a key motif for this trailer and the second half as a whole. Ironwood's choices could decide the fate of many within the whale, Cinder's choices could lead to her clashing with Salem, Winter and Marrow will battle their internal choices, and so on. One other key choice is in regards to what RWBY decides to do, as the second half of the trailer shows that it's going to be quite the chaotic time for her and the others over at the Schnee Manor. We know from the preview clip that the manor will be having some power issues, which this shot of the candles turning on at least suggests that will be fixed at some point. But there's some other more worrying issues coming the hero's way. For starters, the Hound is seen in the manor's grounds, so they'll have to fight off that deadly dog in the midst of everything going on. But he might not be the only Grim appearing here, as we also see a new Grim that has the ability to spit out green toxic fluid, much like the Sentinels, only in larger bursts. This guy looks super freaky, especially with its jagged teeth, spindly limbs, and the green bile coming out from an open vein on its chest. And there's no guarantee that this is all this new terror can do. Regardless, the presence of 2 vicious Grimm appearing at the manor isn't a good sign, and by itself, this would be a major conflict that would surely test RWBY and the gang's abilities to survive. However, there's one other problematic fight looming ahead, as we also see Penny, fresh from her crash landing, wake up, but with the red eyes signaling her body is in the control of Watts. And judging by this shot of RWBY getting flung through the wall and later looking shocked, it's likely that this will be RWBY's biggest battle, while maybe Weiss, Blake and May probably focus more on the 2 Grimm. This has the makings of being a very emotional battle, especially if RWBY is faced with possibly having to take out Penny, a choice that would undoubtedly be brutal and tragic for both girls, though whether or not this will happen remains to be seen. At the very least, we can expect a second half of the volume full of emotional highs and lows, and considering so much of this trailer was full of dread and reasons to panic, I certainly feel just as nervous for what's gonna happen as I am excited to have RWBY back very soon. But what about you guys? What's your take on this trailer and some of my speculation? Do you think Cinder and Salem will come to blows? Do you think Ironwood may charge the bomb early? What's your take on the new Grimm and the prospect of a RWBY vs Penny fight? And what else do you hope to see in the volume's second half? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're at it, hit the subscribe and bell buttons and tick the notification box to get every new video from me as they drop. And follow me on Twitter at ThatKaitoDan for more on anything to do with RWBY, updates on the channel, and more. But until next time, have a good day or good night, and peace out.